Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think may find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. Our Food Truck Festival is scheduled to take place this Saturday, July 10th, over in front of Gardner City Hall at our usual configuration over on Pleasant Street and City Hall Avenue. The front lawns of both the old Gardner Courthouse, which is the City Hall Annex, City Hall, and the post office will all be turned into picnic areas, and it's sure to be a great time for all. We have about 15 food trucks coming, which is a little less than usual, but it still should be a great time for everyone. On top of the 15 trucks, we also do have Moon Hill Brewing Company out of the Gardner Ale House and Milk Room Brewing Company out of Rutland, Massachusetts, coming to set up in our beer garden. And the Remedy will be moving our concerts in the park over to a concert on the front steps of Gardner City Hall. There'll be glitter tattoos and some other fun stuff to do. It's sure to be just a great fun time for everyone involved. I want to say a special thank you to my aide, Colin Smith, as well as the staff at the Gardner Police Department and the Gardner Health Department and our Economic Development Coordinator, Jessica DeRoy, for helping to put this event together. This really is a team effort, and coming from someone who used to put this festival together when I was in the executive aide position before I was elected mayor, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that this festival can happen. And we are the first festival to take place in Worcester County following the reopening of the economy and of everything else following the COVID-19 pandemic. So thank you very much to everyone involved. We also do want to say that the Community Health Connection, some people refer to that as the CHC, will also be providing free COVID-19 vaccines at a small tent at the Gardner Food Truck Festival as well, for anyone who has not been vaccinated yet but would like to be vaccinated. So please feel free to utilize that resource as well if you would like to. I want to thank everyone who contacted my office and the Board of Health over this past week regarding the trash cans over in Bullnose Park. Some of you may remember a couple updates ago we talked about how the city was changing our trash hauler vendors from Waste Management to E.L. Harvey. During that transition, Waste Management was supposed to remove the trash in the trash cans in the downtown area, the Victorian iron ones that we have. However, they neglected to do so before their contract expired. Harvey thought they were already done, so there was a miscommunication there that has since been corrected, and Harvey will be going through to empty those on a weekly basis, and if they fill up earlier before they arrive, we do have the ability to call them to remove that trash. So thank you very much for everyone who's voiced those concerns. We have fixed that issue. I also do want to thank the people who are utilizing our outdoor dining spaces for really doing your part in helping to keep things clean. While we may have had a couple litter issues in the beginning, we have put up signs saying pick up your own trash, no loitering, make sure you keep the area clean, in order just, again, to make it a nice spot for the community, and the community has really responded well to that. So thank you very much to everyone who has utilized those, and please know that those are there for your use to just sit down, relax, and enjoy what we have to offer here in the city on a nice summer day. We do have the outdoor seating options not only available in Bullnose Park, but also in George Sweeney Park behind the Flatiron Building, over on West Line Street next to Hometown Barbers, and up in the West Street parking lot. Several people have thought that that tent that is up there is actually owned by the Gardner Ale House. That is not true. That is a city-owned tent with the tables that have been put up, and that is a space for anyone who wants to use them. It doesn't have to be food from a downtown business. While we encourage that, you can bring your own food and have a picnic out there. It really is a nice spot that we encourage you to take advantage of. The city is continuing our efforts to move forward into the 21st century, but what I mean by that is some of our offices have now gone paperless. This may not affect you directly with your interactions here in City Hall with our auditing department and our treasurer collector's office. However, we do want to let you know, because that is saving us some money on the city's end and allowing us to reutilize our resources to help allocate our funding to where it's needed best. The auditor's department is where we see a lot of the paper going in terms of the different payroll warrants and the different accounts payable sheets and things like that. Those are all now on an online basis. Our purchasing department is now fully utilizing a DocuSign service. So our contracts that we used to have to print out every contract and get wet signatures on, we've now been approved to utilize a DocuSign service and have a web-based signature application for all of the contracts that we're using. And our treasurer collector's office recently switched to a scanning service for our excise tax bills. So rather than having to print multiple duplicates of different bills that go into the tax collector's office, we are now able to utilize all that on a computer-based system. Again, this is probably something that you and other members of the public probably won't see a difference on when you come into City Hall, because we'll still have some paper available for the public to use. And this is really just on our internal practices, but it still allows us to better offer the services that we provide to the public by allowing us to shift our resources from our internal practices to how we're dealing with the public. So I do want to thank all of the employees in those departments for really spearheading that effort into bringing us into a more modern technological based work environment here in City Hall. And I look forward to seeing how we can continue moving that in the future. I did speak with our IT director, Bob O'Keefe, who has informed me that we are set to move forward on our online permitting integration into all of our different city departments, not just the building department and the health department like you see it right now. So that should be happening sometime soon, and we expect by the fall to see more of that work being done. However, all of the work that I've said so far is just in our internal workings in City Hall. The City Council and several other different boards and commissions here in the City of Gardner have gone back to meeting in person. And this has prompted many people to ask the question about how to access video recordings of the meetings, even though we're now no longer on Zoom and automatically uploading them to YouTube as has been done in the past. So in response to that, Council President Elizabeth Kaczynskis and the school committee's vice chair Jennifer Plavin and myself as mayor sent out a joint memo signed by all three of us to all of our different chairs of our boards and committees citywide to let them know that we are issuing a directive that any city public meeting not only be open to the public as required by law, but allows the members of that committee to still have a hybrid option, so they are still able to call and Zoom in, but we are also requiring them to film the meetings so that the next day we can upload them to our city's YouTube page. This is a resource that we've seen several different people utilizing over the past year that was a positive consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic, that we're able to bring the workings of City Hall into the comforts of people's homes. Some of our videos on our YouTube page have upwards of 900 views, which is way more than we see people actually in person at these meetings. So we want to make sure that we continue that trend. So again, we have issued the directive to all of our city boards, commissions, departments, both that I appoint, that Council President Kaczynskis appoints, and that the school committee vice chair Plavin appoints. That way we're doing the same process across the board with everyone, and it's a consistent policy for everyone to follow. I want to thank our IT director, Bob O'Keefe, for purchasing the different camcorders and camera equipment that we have, that we can now upload them to YouTube, the next page. While they won't be live, we will still be able to get them up as soon as possible so that the members of the public who can't attend the meetings will still be able to see what they have to offer. With that being said though, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Planning Board, the City Council, and the School Committee will still be broadcasted live on Gardner Educational Television as they have been traditionally done in the past. And any other meetings that are special and come up there that GETV would normally put together. However, again, those will be live on GETV's cable channel, not on the city's YouTube. Some people may remember that a couple updates ago as well, I talked about us putting together a $150,000 money order before the City Council that the City Council passed to update our equipment in the City Council chambers and in GETV as well. One of those features will potentially be to live stream those meetings onto YouTube from the City Council chamber. However, we do not have that technological required equipment for that purpose at this time. We'll hopefully have that in the future. And I do want to thank everyone at GETV, Tim Josty, Andy King, and Matt DeCero for not only putting up with me with these updates every week, but really stepping up during the pandemic and making sure that we can get everyone the video recordings of what we have to offer for our city. And again, to Bob O'Keefe and Jim Nicholson in the IT department as well for all of the work that they've done for that process too. There will be another swim meet over at the Greenwood Memorial Pool on July 24th and 25th. This is the championship for the 10 and under league. I want to thank Don Lemieux, who is our certified pool operator at the Greenwood Pool, for putting this together and really getting competitive swimming back here in the city of Gardner. Please be sure to stop by and check it out. It really is a great event for all. There'll be food, there'll be vendors, and of course there'll be swimming. So please feel free to check it out. We are looking to see if we can grow our competitive swimming programs here in the city of Gardner in the future. And we'd like people to see why it is that we want to grow that activity here in Gardner. So please go check it out, and then we'll have more discussions about that after, and we'll certainly be talking about our plans to grow competitive swimming here in the city of Gardner and several different subsequent mayor's updates that we offer weekly. But we just want to make sure everyone has as much of a heads up as possible on that as well, because it does affect parking and travel in the downtown area during that time also. In terms of our paving projects, crews were out on Parker Street and Connor Street this past year putting a paved trench over the new pipes that they've installed in those streets. It is in the contract with the crews that we have out working on this project that they will actually put a fully paved patch over anywhere that they dig up in order to avoid keeping a graveled or sand patch over the road that can get messy if it rains or just spread the gravel out and have some issues there. However, due to the large amount of rain that we had this past week, they were unable to do so. They went out on Thursday of this past week and put that paved patch down, so we shouldn't have to worry about that in the near future. But I do want people to know, because the question had been asked several times to my office, why is it that there's just a gravel patch over the pipes? It was just because the raining conditions made it so they couldn't put the paved patch on. But that has been done, and that will continue to be done in the future. Coming up in our paving projects, Vernon Street will have new sidewalks made of concrete, and those will be poured on Thursday and Friday, July 15th and 16th. This will take several weeks to complete because it is a concrete sidewalk and not just asphalt. However, once the concrete walks have been completed, we will then go put the final pavement coat on Vernon Street as well. Some of you may remember that we put the top coat on last year, let that settle over the winter, and now we're putting the second base coat on. The next streets to have work done will be Harvard Street and Coleman Street. Harvard Street will be the entire length of Harvard Street, and Coleman Street will be from Parker Street up through the entrance to Gamma and the Coleman Supply Company down at the end of Coleman Street. Those streets will be completely pulverized. That will mean that there's a truck that'll come and completely dig up the entire road and make a dirt road that then we will add 2 layers of pavement on to completely restructure the road from the bottom up. That is expected to take place on July 19th. Please do remember, though, that these dates that I've given are all subject to the weather. If there's a rainy day that day, they just simply can't be out and working in those conditions. So we will continue to monitor that and move forward, but that's our tentative schedule at this time. I want to thank our building commissioner, Roland Jean, for stepping up and making sure that we cut a problem off at the pass. There was a building over on Main Street in which was having some issues with the facade of the building at the top, falling over and leaning towards the sidewalk. There has been temporary scaffolding put up on the sidewalk over there and a pedestrian path made through on the parking spaces that were there. This is the building located right next to the Blue Moon Diner. The safety concerns have been addressed with the property owner, and we expect the corrections to be made soon. But again, if you see that in the downtown or see that work being done, we wanted to make sure you had as much of a heads up as possible in case you need to readjust your walking plans or where you're parking in the downtown. However, that concludes this week's update. And I am wrong. I'm getting a sign there from my aide Colin in the back that there is something that several people are waiting for this week, and that is the drawing of the winners of the Dine Around Gardner contest. Several people entered this contest, and we were blown away by the amount of participation that we had of people who came to support our local businesses and dropped off their entries here at Gardner City Hall. We will have 3 winners from those who are in the envelope here. I have not seen this envelope before, and in fact, it was placed on my desk right before I put this microphone on, so I have no idea who's in it, but I'm sure whoever it is going to enjoy a lot of great food from our local restaurants here in Gardner. And our first winner of the Dine Around Gardner contest is Lisa Marion. So Lisa, if you're watching, please feel free to stop by and pick up your prize. We also have Vicky Wallet, and our last winner of this contest is Angela Jalbert. So congratulations to Lisa, Vicky, and Angela on winning this year's raffle for the Dine Around Gardner contest. We will look forward to having another one of these again sometime. We don't know at what frequency yet, but we had a great showing for this, and it's a lot of great feedback that we received from the restaurants and the public and people who enjoyed that. However, that does conclude this week's Mayor's Update. Until we speak again, please keep track of your own mental and physical health during these times. Try to get outside and enjoy the warm summer weather that we're having on a day that is not raining like it's projected to be sometimes during the upcoming week. Enjoy what we really do have here in the city. Visit our parks, our playgrounds, our different amenities that we have here. And until we speak again next week, I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.